Hey guys, OGalbina here, bringing you guys our PMU Season 9 Week 3 battle against Mid Pokemaster in his Alabama rollouts. Mid's a good buddy of mine. He's a great content creator. I know he's actually uploading PMU this season, so if you haven't done so already, please go check out Mid in the description below. I'd really appreciate it. Go show him some love on his video. Go drop a big hello over there on his side of the battle. Again, I know he's uploading the season. I don't know if he's uploading this at the same time we are, but definitely go show him some love. He has a crazy team, and I know he's playing very well up to this point, so definitely go show him some support. Yeah, we're gonna be playing Mid this week. This is a really awful matchup. We'll get into it. I think I built some interesting stuff. Whether it'll work is to be seen, but we'll do our darndest to hopefully snag this one off Mid and his absolutely disgusting team. Now we are gonna do a quick little team builder, just like we always do, just because of the fact that I want to give you guys that background knowledge going into the match, know what we're bringing, why we're bringing it, so you have that background knowledge. Obviously, if you want to skip ahead, there'll be a timestamp in the description below, as well as earlier in the video, so definitely go ahead and jump forward to battle if you choose to. But yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it. So, our team, if you did forget, is sitting at the top of the screen. It consists of Weavile, Komodo, Empoleon, Florges, Piloswine, Rotom Fan, Nihilego, Shaman, Slowbro, Pyroar, and Mega Alakazam. Our Z captain being Komodo, while Mid's team consists of Tapu Koko, Scizor, Noivern, Seismitoad, Miltank, Shiinotic, Gengar, Mamoswine, Umbreon, Ditto, and Mega Medicham, with the Z user being Tapu Koko, of course. Now, looking at this matchup, why is it so bad? Well, I'll tell you. Gen 7 Tapu Koko is insane. It's very good. It's my personal favorite mon in the format. I think it's definitely far and above the best mon. And I would have drafted the number 1 if I didn't really want to try Zam, and I wasn't already using Koko in, a Gen 8 league and stuff like that. So I want to try something new. So we ended up going Zam, but Mid got Koko because we didn't draft it first. He drafted it second. Ridiculous mon. Gen 7 terrain is 1.5 instead of 1.2 or 3. I forget what it is in Gen 8, but it's definitely weaker, so Koko becomes a lot stronger. Great utility, really fast setup. All the fun things that Tapu Koko gets. And it gets access to hidden power this gen, so, certain checks aren't as good as checks and stuff like that anymore. Scizor. Scizor is not only very annoying for our team defensively to switch into, we actually don't switch into it very well at all. It's a phenomenal Zam check and revenge killer. It's a phenomenal Weavile check and revenge killer. It's a phenomenal Nihilego revenge killer. It's a great Florges check. It's a great, Piloswine check. It's a great Shaman check. It really is just a great blanket check to a lot of our team. It really pressures Slowbro as well, which is obviously very scary. So Scizor, not fun. Gengar, I got no switch-ins too, man. You see my switch-in on the screen. We'll talk about it in a second, but I don't gotta switch into it. It's pretty tough, actually. That's just about it. Mamoswine, another Pokemon I genuinely don't have pivots into. But nobody does. That's Mamoswine. Its dual stabs rip me, as it does everybody else. We just pressure it offensively. Not as worried about Mamoswine. Umbreon, another great Zam response. We realistically don't have a great way of breaking through Umbreon with this team outside of Komodo and Florges. Unfortunately. And then we have Mega Medicham, another form of priority, just like Mamoswine and Scizor and things like that to, really punish our Alakazam, which is obviously not fun. Now, while we do have a pretty good check and physically defensive Slowbro, Mid has terrain. He has Koko Medi, one of the best cores in the game, offensive cores in the game, in my opinion. Not only does he obviously have the Koko to rip through Slowbro, he also has terrain boosted Thunder Punches for Slowbro, which it does not take 2 of. I will tell you that right now. So, definitely not too fun to deal with. I don't have great ways of winning this game, in my opinion, just due to Mid's phenomenal priority and a lot of my offense being pretty frail. Really vulnerable to physical priority. And I don't have great switches to his offense either. So, we'll see what we can do. I definitely have some interesting win cons. Hopefully we can, put them to work in practice. As you can see, we have a Pyroar here, rocking out the Assault Vest, the first member of our team, rocking out with Hyper Voice, Fire Blast, Hidden Power Grass, and Flame Charge unnerves its ability, 12 HP, 112 special attack, 172 super def, and 212 speed with a timid nature. This is our Gengar check in quotation marks. We live a Gengar Focus Blast after Rocks. Is basically what our super def is. We can live 2 Sludge Waves sometimes, too, depending on, item choices and stuff like that. We're creeping Max Seed Medi, and then we threw the rest into, special attack. This Pokemon's actually pretty good offensively, too, this game, minus the Miltank and the Umbreon. We actually do kind of rip through his team with Pyroar, so it's probably the best Pyroar matchup we're going to have all season, so we might as well let it come off the bench for once, and, give it a shot. It just stops the access of Mid to be able to spam, like, Scarf or Spec Shadow Ball. Now, do I think he runs that? No, because I have a Weavile. I don't think he ever runs Choice Gengar in this matchup because I have a Weavile that can pretty easily trap him. But then again, Weavile also doesn't have a great matchup. So who knows? Who knows? It's all really up to mid in that sense. But yeah, that's going to be Power. Very scuffed Gengar check, but it's all we got. Next up, we have our Slowbro rocking out with a Rocky Helmet. Regenerates its ability, Scald, Toxic, Slack Off, and Flamethrower. EVs wise, we got Max HP, Max Fizz Def, and 4 special attack. This is our Medi check. We're going to do our absolute best to position this thing in on a turn where he doesn't pick Raw Thunder Punch in terrain on the switch, and even just Raw Thunder Punch, because without lefties, we are potentially 2-hit KO'd. Now, I could have gone lefties and avoided that 2 KO, but then we don't really punish the meta champ, and I want to punish it and make it take chip for attacking. And that's basically why we have Helmet. Again, we are max just literally just to kind of deal with that Mamoswine. Also deal with a a pretty offensive Mamo as well. It's a pretty darn good Mamo check if I had to say so myself. So definitely pretty solid. Next up, we have our Piloswine rocking out with the Eviolite Thick Fat as its ability Earthquake, Ice Crush, Stealth Rock, and Ice Shard. EVs wise, we got 172 HP, 140 attack, 44 defense, 148 speed def, and 4 speed with a careful nature, right? Not calm, careful nature. This is going to be our Coco check. We live 2 Life Orb Grass Knots after Rocks. We are not 2-hit KO'd by Adamant, non-boosting Mamoswine as well. And then we have the Russian attack to do some pretty decent damage. Mid doesn't appreciate Edgequake very much. He actually doesn't have great ground resistance in general. I think it's just Shiinotic. So this Pokemon does put on a little bit of offensive pressure. Obviously, we're still just a Piloswine, so we're not really breaking through things like Umbreon and Seismitoad and Meltink and things like that, and even a defensive Scizor, to be completely honest. But we still have our merits for sure. It's a great rocker this game, and it's a great Coco check, which is mainly what it's here for. Pretty solid lead as well, and the priority can always come in clutch. You never know, so that's obviously very solid. And yeah, it's gonna be Piloswine. Next up, we got the WinCon this week. Like I said, interesting build, interesting matchup. We kind of got to do it. We're rocking out with Empoleon, rocking out with the Torrent ability, Shukaberry as its item, Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, Agility, and Grass Knot. Eevee's wise, got 92 HP, 4 defense, 244 special attack, 4 speed def, and 164 speed with a modest nature. Eevee's wise, we are creeping Komodo at plus. We're creeping Coco, sorry, at +2. We live a Life Orb, Adamant, Mamoswine, Earthquake after Rocks, and then we threw the rest into our special attack. Just do as much damage as humanly possible. If you look at If you look at Mid's team, he gets ripped by offensive Empo if we can just get chip on that Miltank and the what do you call it, the Umbreon, especially if we get pushed into Torrent by his by whatever monster's attacking us as we set up, as we can pretty much live one from anything minus things like Coco and Medi pretty much. And if we're put in Torrent, pretty much everything dies to Hydro Pump when we're agility'd up, obviously. Ice Beam is great for things like Noivern, Shiinotic if that ends up coming. And Grass Knot is there for the Seismitoad as well, just to be able to rip through that. I thought about potentially going Substitute to get myself into Torrent range, but I figured it wasn't worth it in this specific instance, and I would be better off just going with 3 cover tools just to be safe, because, and another reason I really like this thing as a WinCon is because it's not as threatened by his priority. Now, obviously, there still is priority that can, slowly whittle me down, especially after I agility and take like an Earthquake or something like that, but Fake Out and Bullet Punch and Ice Shard and things like that don't immediately do 60% to me and make it to where I am a non-factor. Is essentially kind of how I see it. So definitely an interesting win con, but if we can position it well, get a little bit of chip on the Medi, chip down the Umbreon and the Miltank, and Shiinotic if it ends up coming, we're actually vibing with this set pretty heavy, which we're definitely excited about for sure. Next up, we got our Komodo rocking out the Fightinium Z. Bulletproof is its ability, Close Combat, Flamethrower, Clanging, Scales, and Earthquake. EV's wise, it got 68 HP, 60 attack, 4 defense, 220 special attack, and 156 speed with a it's whatever plus special attack minus F is. I think it might be Rash. But yeah, this Pokemon's here to wall break. This Pokemon actually doesn't have great switch-ins with all of its coverage. I couldn't really fit a setup move, and I didn't really feel it was a great win con anyways, with all of the priority flying around. But what I can do is use this thing to really, really rip through its team. Fightinium Z Close Combat is pretty darn free in this matchup. Obviously, we do have coverage for both of the fairies in Shiinotic and, Coco, or there be Flamethrower or Earthquake. Playing Scales is just great overall stab as well to rip through things like Noivern. We Flamethrower with the Scizor, which is obviously very, very nice. Clang Scales is also nice for Medicham. Medicham does not appreciate taking that at all. And then Z Fight is great for things like Umbreon. It's a great absolute nuke. It's great for Seismitoad as well. I'll definitely take that. And this is a great Pokemon to chip down the things and break the things that Empoleon does not appreciate, i.e. the Miltank and the Umbreon, which is obviously very, very important for our endgame. So Mo's definitely very, very solid. And then lastly, we got Weavile. We are not bringing Alakazam, no. I don't think Alakazam is very good in this matchup, just because of, again, the amazing amount of priority. Plus things like Miltank and Umbreon. I think it's probably the worst Zam matchup that we could have all season. So, definitely scary, but, you know, we're going without our first overall pick this week, just because the matchup requires it. But we're rocking out with Weavile, what knockoff Ice Shard, Pursuit, and Icicle Crash. Life Orb is this item, 28 HP, max attack, 84 defense, 4 speed def, and 140 speed. With a jolly nature, we are creeping max speed Gengar. We have a Life Orb number in HP, max attack, and rest defense. Very simple spread. This thing is here to trap Gengar, if at all humanly possible. That would be genuinely amazing if we can find the opportunity to do so. He still doesn't appreciate switching into Life Orb Knock plus Crash. Nobody really does. Obviously, Scizor is a good initial pivot because it kind of forces me out, but that initial knockoff is actually going to do a lot if it has items. So that's obviously, you know, something that can be really nice if you end up chipping it down with something else and forcing it in. So that's something to keep in mind. Ice Shard priority is also very good in this matchup in case things get out of hand. And yeah, Weavile's just mainly here because it's a 6-spawn that didn't do as horrible as the rest. Again, not a big fan of this matchup, but I think we have a pretty interesting build that can catch me off guard, and hopefully we can, you know, do pretty well here. But yeah, that being said, I will be right back with the battle. Alright guys, here we are with the battle. Very, very quick one, as you can see. So it's going to be a very offensive affair. You can see the team that Mid elected to bring. He went with the Tapu Koko, Mega Medicham, Gengar, so very scary offensive core that I just don't deal with very well. Seismitoad would probably be his rocker in this game. Scizor, most likely, you know, really his only Weavile check on his team. So definitely makes a lot of sense. And then probably, you know, Spadefish, Umbreon to take on the Mega Zam that we ended up leaving on the bench. But let's go ahead and jump into it. We are going to lead off with, as I'm realizing my screen dimensions are awful right now. I'm going to fix them as we go. Mid's going to lead off with the Koko, as I'm going to lead off with Kommo-o. I felt as if Kommo-o had the best, realistically, lead matchup overall. Minus this Koko, I could kind of just stay in and throw off a fat Z move. Either that or the Medi, but neither of those really wanted to switch in, and I have good initial responses to Medi. Koko, not so much. We are going to be forced out here. I don't want to take a Gleam here. I think that's definitely an awful idea. And Mid's going to make a great play, expecting me to pivot out, obviously, and he's going to go for a Tapunium Z. Basically taking off 75% of my Pylo and then making it useless for the rest of this game. So that's definitely a very good bring by Jesse. It's definitely something I probably expected in prep, but I didn't feel as if I really had anything else that could pivot into this. So Jesse made the call, and he was able to, you know, get off this big Z move. Now, I'm hoping this doesn't get copyrighted. I know, like, the Lycanroc Z move, I know, like, Solgaleo and Lunala Z move and stuff like that. Kommo-o's actually, too. They are, like, copyright bait for Pokemon, but hopefully it doesn't get copyrighted. We're going to get picked off with the Dazzling Gleam here, or so I thought. I'm actually going to elect to get up my Rocks in case he for some reason decides to switch, but we lived that hit for some reason, which is actually pretty awesome, though I kind of wish I clicked Earthquake just to get a ton of damage off on this Koko. We obviously wouldn't have killed it, but it would have been genuinely amazing to get said damage, but we at least get a little bit of Ice Shard chip, and we're able to get up our Rocks for, you know, things like our Empoleon in the back. And we can force that Medi to switch in on it twice. It's in range of potentially a Hydro Pump before we get into Torrent, which is awesome. I am going to go into Pyro here. I am Assault Vest. I'll take any one hit from this thing very easily, and I can put on a little bit of offensive pressure here, as we are going to see big Umbreon come in, take the Rocks chip, and then take a pretty fat Hyper Voice to the face of it. You're going to see this is for sure Spadef Umbreon, and he doesn't need it for my Zam anymore, so he can be very, you know, he can play with it a lot more loosely than he typically would have otherwise. I mean, he's going to be able to get back a lot of health via the leftovers, and realistically just kind of get rid of any damage we did to it as a whole. As right here, I'm going to pivot out into my Kommo-o, which I spelled wrong in my nickname. Yikes. As Mid makes a good play, goes for a Baton Pass. Now, before this, I was assuming he was going to, you know, potentially throw up a Wish, try and pass out and do his Koko, something like that. Is he actually going to make the Baton Pass, though, and go into this Gengar and make a bit of an aggressive play right here? As I am going to pivot out, go right into my Pyroar. I'm expecting 100% a Dazzling Gleam. I think it would be crazy to go for a Focus Blast right there. I think that would be an absolute nuts play. And, you know, him having Dazzling Gleam kind of ticks me off that he might not be Focus Blast as a whole. So we might actually end up being a pretty good Gengar check throughout this game. He's going to be forced out here. He doesn't want to take a Dark Pulse if we have it. He doesn't want to take a Fire Blast, which is what I'm actually going to go for right here. As you're going to see, we do indeed connect said Fire Blast. Unfortunately, after leftovers especially, it is not a 2-hit KO because Pyroar is Pyroar, and we're not even max special attack, and Umbreon's Umbreon. So we're not going to be able to 2-hit KO it there. We're going to have to pivot out. I'm going to go right back into my Kommo-o, thinking he should probably wish out, but though realistically mid doesn't need to wish this thing up because he really needs only to use it as a pivot into the Pyroar. Now it is good to know that his Pyroar is going to be his Pyroar is going to be 2-hit carrying the Umbreon switch next time, but yeah, definitely good information. Now, I'm just gonna go back on this Gengar. I'm gonna make a little bit of a questionable play. I'm gonna get honestly just a little too aggressive in this instance, in the sense that he's gonna go Gengar, and in my head I'm like, he doesn't click Gleam again, he's clicking Sludge Wave, and I can pick this thing off with an Earthquake and be in a phenomenal position. I didn't think mid would attack me with a Dazzling Gleam, so again, this is just me being aggressive. I'm not saying this because like I thought he would do this because he should have done this. No, he attack was in front of him because I don't have good switches to Gengar, which is completely fair. So I'm gonna get a little over aggressive, go for an Earthquake as mid just to stay in and go for the Dazzling Gleam. So definitely a fat overplay on my part, and you're gonna see this game is just me getting impatient. Me getting incredibly impatient in all honesty. So Mo's gonna die realistically for nothing. It's going to go down as big Pyro comes in, and Pyro should be able to actually claim a KO here pretty easily. You can't really pivot Seismitoad because we have Hidden Power Grass. We're going to see Sludge Wave pop there. And due to our Assault Vest, we're actually going to chew that up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We're going to be able to actually chew another one afterwards. Fire Blast is a potential roll. We do not get it, but it doesn't matter because it depends on his spread. It would have been nice to not have to take that damage, because what this Sludge Wave is going to do while it doesn't kill us is it's going to put us in range of Bullet Punch from Scizor, and otherwise, we wouldn't have been in range of that. We would have actually been able to still have a good Scizor check, in the back that chewed a Bullet Punch pretty easily. So unfortunately, Pyro's going to go down. We do take out the Gengar, which is awesome, but now the thing that we're actually here to offensive pressure is going to come in and just pick us off with a clean little Bullet Punch. There's not really much we can do in this specific instance. So BB's going to come out. It's going to knock out Pyroar, but it was able to pick up a kill in his debut, game. It was able to actually put a lot of pressure on the Umbreon too. So it's realistically like an ask out of a tier 5 pick that I thought I would actually never really bring. So big shout outs to Pyroar, letting us not get 6-0'd by Gengar, basically, was his whole job. I'm going to go into Slowbro here. Now, I know U-Turn's going to come out, but if he's banded, obviously you can't click U-Turn, and if he's not banded, it doesn't do a KO as it bounces, and we can actually get Rocky Helmet Chip. That's going to really help out our, in the back? Our Empoleon. So what's going to happen here is I am just going to click Scald. Mid makes a play out into the Seismitoad, which makes sense because I either Scald or I Flamethrower. I'm probably not throwing off, like a Grass Knot or a Toxic or anything like that. However, this turn, I am going to elect to, throw off a big Toxic on this Toad. I figured Rocks might come up, and realistically, if this thing poisons me at this point, it's not that big of a deal. What I need to do is I need to try and get my, my Empoleon in an endgame position where I can clean. And honestly, it's kind of in said position. The Coco's in range after Rocks. The Seismitoad drops to a Grass Knot if it's not Rindo, which is obviously really solid. And we chew a hit from it regardless, and this Toxic's going to slowly whittle it down and put it in, the range that we need. We actually kill Scizor from here with a big pump, and if we can stay out of range with Bullet Punch, it's awesome. The only thing that's really not in range is going to be Mid's Mega Medi, unless we crit it or get into Torrent. If we get into Torrent, we actually do kill it after Rocks. If we do not, we do not kill it, like under any circumstances. So I'm going to make a play out into my Weavile. Reason being, I can take any one hit from this thing. And realistically, I just kind of want to throw off a big knockoff. Throwing off a knockoff is incredibly free here. It's going to allow me to, obviously chip this thing down in case it is Rindo Berry. And get my Empoleon in for free, because I kind of have to go for game at this point. I can hope for a crit. I can hope for Earth Power or Earthquake, potentially putting me in, Torrent range. Now, he is Earthquake. I think Earth Power actually did a little bit less. So, that would actually been super ideal, because I actually could have Agility twice on that and then potentially be put in Torrent range. Depending on the Bullet Punch calcs, though. So, because I don't remember those specific calcs, and if I lived the hit from where I was, or if he was Fake Out Medi, Bullet Punch plus Fake Out Beta. So, we're in a pretty tough spot here. And honestly, due to me just kind of playing this game incredibly recklessly to a point where I just didn't really need to. If I had an extra sack piece in the back, who knows how this game could have ended up going. I could have gone Komodo here, maybe forced in that Medi, if it ends up going Medi, and then, maybe forcing it to take that Helmet Chip, and if I can force it out afterwards, in a pretty good spot. We're going to see Earthquake's going to pop. It does a good chunk to me, in all honesty, and it kind of, makes me think I don't really live this next one. And it ends up dying to Toxic anyway, so I'm not actually able to Agility twice, even if I wanted to. As out comes Medicham. Mid kind of sat on this for a while, and in my head I'm like, does he not know that Medi lives? Because if he didn't and he wanted to do his other Pokemon first, we actually still definitely could have won this game. like 100% of the time. If he sacked his other Pokemon more, we still have our Slowbro at full in the back, but unfortunately, it's going to make the smart play. He is going to go into his Medi. I'm going to click Pump. Now, if we get a crit, we for sure win the game. Unfortunately, you're going to see we do not. Again, just like one more Rock Switch, and that was potentially a roll. Or just that Rocky Helmet chip would have done it as well. He's going to make a smart play, too, and click Thunder Punch. No reason for him to click HJK there. He, you know, wants to ensure that he hits me 100% of the time. And yeah, we're going to go down to the Thunder Punch, and then out comes our Slowbro. We can, you know, help out with our diff a little bit. Mid's going to click Thunder Punches. I'm just going to slack off because, again, I have no reason not to. It dies to Helmet, which is obviously nice for us. We're going to be able to kind of, you know, curb the differential a little bit, but we're going to go down to the Poco coming in afterwards. And yeah, GG's to Mid. He definitely played a lot better than me this game. I think I played this game very rushed. I kind of just went in a little bit underprepared for a lot of things. I think losing the Pylo very early was not good. Komodo, me sacking it for no reason, was also a very, very bad play in my mind. I don't know why I made that play. There was no reason for me to get aggressive at that point, but I did. Or, yeah, Komodo. I hope I didn't say Coco. But yeah, again, Mid killed it. I know he's uploading this season as well, so definitely go check him out in the description below. I know he's a little bit behind compared to us, so I don't think his side of our battle's up, but definitely go check out his weeks 1 and 2. I think he's been playing well this season, and he's been doing well with his team. It's pretty nasty. I love me some Coco and Medi. It's definitely a pretty nasty core for sure. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like. If you're new here, be sure to drop a sub. And yeah, I'll see you guys in week 4 when we play Brody. Later.